Okay, so right now I'm driving home. It's about 15 degrees out, which isn't not too bad. I mean, North Dakota, I don't know why the fuck I said it like that. North Dakota is like negative 20, so could be worse. But just driving home and thinking about why I personally, I don't want to say I personally prefer percentage-based programs over RPE programs, but there's a certain unique quality to them, and that is that they're a lot less subjective. You know, you have to do a certain weight on a certain day. You know, you're doing your 5x10, then you're doing your 8s or whatever. You know, you have some, you know, it probably like looks like a pyramid or whatever, that kind of thing. But there's not a ton of variance in the weight. You know, maybe it's like, oh, you can do bench at, you know, 3x10 at 220 to 210, but not a ton of variance. And the reason I like this style of programming, especially for people that aren't advanced, I think it's probably better for people that aren't advanced, because advanced people would know themselves better. Not inherently, but because honestly, there's a lot of people are really bad at gauging RPE, especially on movements that they just don't feel like doing. Oh, I don't feel like squatting today. I don't feel like benching. Fucking front squat. Oh, I don't feel like doing front squat today. Well, dude, if I'm doing front squats at RPE 5, them shits feel like RPE 10 no matter what. Unless it's like a single. But that's kind of besides the point. A nice thing about percentage-based programs is that they don't give you any other option. They just force you to essentially lock in. Okay, I got my 225 3x10 tomorrow on bench. Oh shit, I gotta... Actually, here's a good example. This Monday I have a 295 4x10 on squat. I don't know if I've actually ever done that, but I got a 4x10 at 295. Well, guess what? I can't just go to RP7, RP6. You know, the first set probably won't be too bad. Second set probably be whatever. But the last two sets, I bet they'll be kind of hard, especially if I don't rest like insanely long between sets. Well, guess what I got to do? You know, today's Saturday. I got to get some good sleep. I got to eat before I go to sleep. Sunday, I better be eating good. You know, have a good balanced diet going on. Make sure I have some carbs. Stay hydrated. You know, I'll get my homework done. Get these outside stress variables done. I study. So I'm not like, oh shit, I got a test coming up. And then Sunday night, get good sleep. Wake up at a normal time. You know, a certain amount of time that I can eat a little breakfast, get moving a little bit, kind of have like an hour or so to wake up before I gotta lift, so I don't just feel like, you know, terrible in the gym. And then I gotta go to school afterwards, you know what I'm saying? So there's some amount of like, I gotta get this workout done that has to happen. So it forces me to kind of figure all these things out. It forces me to eat well. It forces me to sleep well. And it just forces you in general, to put it broadly, percentage-based programs, especially, like honestly, ones that are very, I feel like squats kind of, some squat percentage-based programs can get a little crazy at sometimes, especially if like the one I'm running right now, the RTA one, honestly, it doesn't get like insane, but like you can find a lot of squat programs where you're like, yo, I'm supposed to do what in 6 weeks? I'm supposed to do what in 10 weeks? Like, you know, there's no way they think I can do that. And the way you are able to do that is by hanging. And the way I say that, or what I mean by hanging, is you just got to have that ability to hang. And that ability to like, okay, this really sucks, and I'm just grinding, just barely finishing these workouts, barely getting these reps done. But you just got to hang, because eventually there's going to be some level of super compensation, some amount of like, oh, we're going to go a little lighter this day, you know, because that's just how programming works. You have some amount of like planned rest in, maybe you have a deload. You just got to hang as long as you can, you know, assuming you're not getting injured or having like weird pains. But if you're just like, dude, I'm sore, like I'm just feeling dead, I'm not feeling it today, you just got to hang, just keep showing up, even if you got that range, you know, what I was saying earlier, 200 to 210 on bench for a 3x10, hit that 200 instead of that 210. And you never know, sometimes those workouts where you feel like absolute shit, they end up being the ones where you're like, damn, dude, I could have hit 220 for this 3x10. Especially when you're doing crazy programs where you just feel like shit all the time. Sometimes you end up having this, it's really weird, and I noticed it a lot more when I was doing Olympic lifting. The days that I would feel absolutely terrible, want to just take a day off, ended up being the days where sometimes I'd hit the craziest PRs. I don't know exactly why, but it would, again, that would force me to hit my outside variables too. I had no idea. My coach, he was like, no, I don't like to tell you guys the program, it just kind of happens. I mean, he kind of programmed on the fly anyway, but, he wouldn't want to tell us, oh, we're maxing clean and jerk this day, we're maxing snatch, we're doing 10s on back squat this day. You just have to show up. And guess what? Dude, sophomore year, I could make a whole video about this. I had fucking Nutella banana sandwiches. Every single class period, I'd have a Nutella banana sandwich with honey on it, I think. And then I'd have, first period, I'd have oatmeal and eggs. And then at lunch, I'd have like chicken and rice or some shit like that, beef and rice. But I'd have a Nutella banana sandwich, like 500 calories every class period. I'm not saying this is what you should do, but my diet was insane. I was eating 500 grams of carbs a day because I remember my coach, and I'm kind of getting sidetracked right now, but it still fits in. This is more of an anecdotal experience of like just kind of hitting the variables. And if you hit your outside variables, your program is way less important than if you're getting good sleep, eating well, and trying really fucking hard. That's the other thing, is that percentage-based programs make you just have that grit, and you're like, damn, well, I have to do this bullshit week 4. I gotta lock in. I have no choice unless I just don't want to be on the program. But it's like a trinity. If you just eat well, you don't need to eat an insane amount. You don't need a dirty bulk, but eat to support your training. Get your vitamins in, get a good amount of your macronutrients in. Don't be skimping out on one, you know what I mean? Sleep well, and just try really hard. Just try harder than you think you can. And if you do that, and then you have a decent program, you're chilling. You'll make great gains. You got to repeat that shit for like 5 years. Boom, you'll be strong as fuck. But back to my personal experience with this, like, our program when I did Olympic lifting, we basically didn't have a program, to be honest. We'd max snatch or clean and jerk every day, and then do like heavy squats afterwards, basically. Maybe, and then when I was junior, we were to just kind of bodybuild afterwards, hit some bench and shit. But for most of my lifting, that's what it was. Max out snatch or clean or jerk, or clean and jerk. And then there'd be heavy squats somewhere in there, maybe some heavy press, some jerks, like specific, like push press kind of thing. And because the programming wasn't the best, honestly, just like maxing stuff all the time, and because I didn't know what it was, it forced me to, I ended up having really good sleep all of high school. Like, I was always going to sleep at like 10:30. I used to be talking to this girl, and she'd always be like, 10 is your bedtime, and I'd be like, yeah, dude, like, I gotta log in. 10 was my bedtime. I'd put my phone down at 10, wake up at like 7 the next morning. I'd probably fall asleep at like 10:30, but it really forced me to control these outside variables, and just forced me to work really hard. And I made good gains. I mean, I could have made better gains with a better program, even if I just had like my programming. But honestly, I could get into the program that I did back then in a way longer video, and I could, I don't have any really like bad blood with my previous coach. I just have like some questions about the coaching, you know what I'm saying, about the programming. But essentially, moral of the story is percentage-based programs make you find a way to get it done. Whether that's I'm gonna eat a little bit more, I'm gonna drink a little bit more water before this session. I'm gonna just make sure that I got this checklist: sleeping well, eating well, drinking lots of water, have a little more coffee before, all these things. Have be more hydrated, have more sodium. You know what I'm saying. It makes you find a way to get it done, and that's something that is uniquely valuable, I think, as a person, as a man, to just be able to get something done, and just find a way to get something done. It's very powerful to just have that level of grit, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying I'm some special specimen, just like some, I work hard for sure, but I'm not trying to say like I'm just above everyone. But just being able to just find a way is, it's important for sure. It'll help you guys make really good gains.